Fourth test, India, England, starts Friday. Looking forward to this one. Friday, Arvo, perfect time slot here in Australia to sit down and watch this first session. It will be fascinating because we've seen, like in the recent series between Australia and India over there, that one of the test matches, it was turning sideways in that first session. There's every chance that this pitch is going to do the same, to the point where England look like they're going to pick one recognised paceman. Looks like it could be Ollie Robinson because they might give Wood and Anderson a rest. Ben Stokes, though, interestingly enough, has said before the tour, I made a promise, a pinky promise with the team doctor, team physios, that I'm not going to bowl. All of a sudden, he's done a load earlier this week of 30 minutes in the middle, just sending them down, getting his rhythm. Looks like he will bowl. Have you ever broken a pinky promise with your medical staff?
Breaking a pinky? Mate, all the time.
Oh, you're
a
wicket keeper.
I tell you how I broke the pinky promise.
Yeah.
My wife was a radiographer.
Yeah.
So you know if you've sprained your finger or you've broken a bone.
Handy for a wicket keeper, by the way, I must say.
Well,
mates rates.
Yeah, I made sure every Christmas party I went and made a beeline to the doctors. So what happened is you could feel it in the game. You think, oh no, I've done it again. I've broken a finger. But the first thing you do, you go to the physio. They say go for a scan. If it's broken,
you're out.
You're out.
Mm.
So what I did, I'd say, Karina, I think I've broken a finger. She'd look. She goes, I think you have to. Come in for a scan.
Yeah.
Then I'd go get the report off the doctor. And then I'd get him to refer me to the specialist, Doug Ween. Great man. Great man. I brought 3 houses for him on the water, and Tim Payne's brought the other 2. So I'd get the report off him. But when I had the report, I'd hold the report like this.
Yeah.
And I'd say, Doug, you're not having the report yet. I need to play the next 2 Shield games, and then I have a bit of a break.
Yeah.
And you go, Hads, give me the report. You know the rule. And the rule was, if it's broken, you're okay to play. If it's broken and it started to take the tendon, we'll talk about it. But if it's broken, it's gone through the joint, we've got to have surgery. So then I'd hand the report over. So these are true stories.
Yeah.
And then I get the report. Yep, I can handle the pain. Yet, no worries. Oh, hang on, this is a bad one. We've got to put you in tonight, get the surgery done. But then I'd go back to New South Wales. I'd go to the physio and say, I've broken my finger. He goes, oh, no, we've got a Shield going. He goes, no, I'm right to play. I've seen the surgeon. Yeah. I've seen the specialist. Here's a report, and I can handle the pain. All right, see you training. So there's only once where he said, oh, no, you're out.
Yeah.
I said, oh, Doug, I've got a final in 8 days. He goes, 8 days? He goes, can you play with the stitches in? I said, yeah. So he went in, put a screw in my little finger.
God.
Made a splint. He said, I said, mate, sure I can play. He said, mate, once I've got that screw in, it would have calcified enough in that time. Oh. Then you play. So, mate, I don't know whether they're pinky promises, but I found a way not to miss games.
They're literally pinky promises.
Yeah, look at that one.
Christ.
Oh, yuck. You don't want to know. My hands weren't made for wicket keeping. Mate, Peter Neville's were perfect. He had these fat fingers. He never broke anything.
Yeah, King Charles fingers, did he?
Mate, these are like poppadoms. Mate, you try to put a poppadom into a wicket-keeping glove, they're going to break every time.
By the way, just back to what your lovely wife, Karina, does for a living, trained. Is that how you met?
No, we met.
Okay. I'm just checking.
No, through a mutual friend.
Okay, wonderful. And you got to know each other really well when you dropped in every 3 weeks during cricket season. Back to England. What do they do here? How do they turn that around? Are they getting their selections right, but just going in with the one quick and a lot of spin?
I tell you how they turn it around. India have gave them a door. They've opened the door just enough for England to walk through.
How?
I had a look at the surface. I don't know if you've seen on the news the surface of the wicket being unveiled. It looks like one of those wickets that you're going to throw the ball in and it's going to go through the top. It's going to be a 2.5-day test match. That's what it looks like. I might be wrong.
Yeah.
And England look like they're sort of saying the same. We only need one fast bowler. It's going to turn. That brings England right back into the game because the uncertainty about what the surface is going to do. So your part-time spinners like Joe Root all of a sudden become real effective. And a lot of the result then can be around to luck.
Yeah.
If you've seen the last test match, it's a beautiful wicket. England England didn't bat that well because the pressure that was applied by India because of the scoreboard and the way they batted. But the surface is one that's going to move day one. It's going to be a fast-moving test match. India might have just opened the door for England to get one up here. So they've got to be really careful here, India, at the surface they produce.
It's crazy. It's great. Joe Root, by the way, he's bowled 107 overs, most he's ever bowled in a series already by 40 overs. And you dare say he's going to get a fair bit of work in this test match because he is a pretty handy offie, isn't he? As opposed to his batting at the moment, unfortunately for Joseph. We put that poll out on Instagram asking if Joe Root should ditch Basball. 85% voted he should ditch it. I dare say that's got back into the England camp and he will ditch it for that on the basis of a Willow Talk poll. So, no, in all seriousness, thank you for voting. I can't see him changing it because that's the way these guys operate. That's the way Brendan McCullum gets into his players' heads. Unless Joe decides himself, because it feels like there's so much personal responsibility in this team that Joe just decides, you know what, maybe I'll put that reverse lap in the bag for the first innings at the very least.
We'll put in the bag to 120. Like, Joe Root is a good enough player, a world-class player, that we know is going to come good. It's just a matter of time before he gets another big 100. It's just putting the odds back in his favour a little bit. To play a really high-risk shot like that, all he's got to do there is that decision worth it. Is it worth it, that ball? Am I going to get that much movement in the game? Am I doing that so I can move someone back to third man that allows me to get a one on the leg side to rotate the strike so I don't get 6 balls at me from the spinners? So I think he won't change his style of play because what the team stands for. He'll just be a bit smarter in what he does.
Fair enough. Bumrah rested.
Saving
him for the 5th test. So England happy about that because he could bowl on anything at the moment and cause issues. KL Rahul still ruled out, injured. Virat Kohli, we know where he's been now. He's been at a hospital waiting for the birth.
Congratulations.
Of the second child, and hopefully everything's going okay there. It sounded like child was in mother's womb for a bit longer than they were expecting, and maybe now Virat's gone, you know what, I just want to chill out at home and watch this one. So,
Well, the interesting one is Bumrah.
Yeah.
So they're saying even for the last test, Dharamsala, which traditionally swings a lot more up in the Himalayas, it's a lot cooler. But
raging green top expected.
Well, it could be, but they're not resting him. He's got a big ticker.
Yep.
They're not resting him unless his surface is going to offer a lot to their spinners. Yeah. And this is what I'm saying with England. That they might see a door here because this surface, if it is as hard to play on as we think, Basball will be effective because they're going to go after the game. They might get rid of the batters, bat pad offside, bat pad leg side. So, it's a dangerous tactic what India are playing here because they're playing really good cricket and they might have just opened the door with the surface. And with Bumrah being rested, it says to me this wicket's going to turn from day one.
Ben Stokes quote, I've never seen something like that before about the pitch. I don't know what could happen. It looked green and grassy up in the changing rooms, but when you get out there, it looked different, very dark and crumbly and quite a few cracks in it. It's like Basball. No. Could come back to bite that.
We like Basball.
Absolutely.
We like the style.
We've just spent 20 minutes talking about an England-India test, and it's been given extra relevance by the way that England have been going on about it and everyone telling what they should be doing or if they support it or not. It's unreal.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic talking point. Yash Jaiswal, by the way, 545 runs in 3 tests. Graham Gooch, 752 in 3 tests, the record for England-India series, India-England series. So, the youngster up the top, he looks the real deal. So, a bit like Ravindra. So, we'll see how he goes. And this whole test pans out. We'll have a review for it. I dare say by the time we next meet, Bradley, we'll have a result. Yeah, thanks for watching the Willow Talk podcast on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't have to miss an episode wherever you are. And while you're at it, check out these videos up here. They're mostly good.